Hello friends, I hope you are well. My name is Amir and today we are going to talk about another criminal case where an elderly homeless man was brutally murdered. Stay with me as the video continues.
And he wakes up, what are you doing? What are you doing? Get off me!
It's like some kind of TV. There's an arm, there's another arm.
And so I'm there in a car quickly being flooded with water. This is one guy remembered for dying of hypothermia and a botched attempt at hiding a body. And I'm just like...
This man is Brian Cohey, 19 years old, and he is going to be questioned about the murder of Warren Barnes, a 69-year-old homeless man. The murder takes place in the city of Grand Junction, Colorado, where the homeless population is very high compared to other cities in the state, which is one of this homeless man is Warren Barnes, who is usually seen in cartoons and does strange things to earn money. On the other hand, we have Brian Kohi, who has shown abnormal psychological tendencies very early since his teenage years. According to his mother, this behavior started at the age of 15 with Brian's love for murder. He was studying the history of serial killers and had a special focus on the behavior that led to the survival of the cycle of serial murders. This great interest filled Brian's whole days to the point where he chose the nickname Dahmer for himself, a nickname that came from a serial killer. Famous means Jeffrey Dahmer had taken it. When Brian turned 18 years old, he had already made his decision and wanted to commit murder for the first time and experience this act. He roamed the streets in his blue hoodie to find the victim he wanted. He knew that he should not go to the citizens who have a quality life. This interrogation was held at 14:30 in February.
Brian, walk me through, how do you spell your last name? Thomas Cohee, C-O-H-E-E. Okay. What's your birthday, Brian? January 10th, 2002. And how did you get here? I murdered someone. Okay. What do you want to know? So start back at the beginning and go slow and tell me as many details as you can remember. So, I'm already going to jail for the 15 years probably? I have no idea. Because we're at the beginning. It's murder. I mean, I'm going to jail for 20, probably.
Brian knew that he was in trouble. He knew that he was not going to help himself by continuing to lie, so he accepted the consequences of his work. He accepted that an important part of the most important years of his life was going to be spent in prison, so as a result, Brian was calm and friendly throughout.
What's important to me is to learn as much about you and what you did as I can. Well, as many details as you can give me, the better. Yeah, it was the night of February 27th. It was a full moon, and I figured I can see so well, why not drive out? And I am in a bad state of mind at that time. I have major depressive disorder, so I am not thinking positively. Okay.
On the night of February 27, 2021, Brian was busy with his night walks to find prey to calm his mind. Brian wandered aimlessly outside the city for an hour.
Here on the railway track, so I'm like, oh, interesting. So I go up, and as I'm looking, I see a large thing wrapped in a canvas. Okay. And I'm like, that's a homeless person.
Warren Barnes was sleeping under a bridge and was resting. Brian immediately took off his gloves and took the 12-inch kitchen knife that he had put in a glove box. He took a few deep breaths in front of the tent and was ready to attack Warren Barnes.
For a long time, or something. The whole ordeal lasted about a minute and a half. Is it okay if I do a demonstration? Oh, yeah. This is him. I was strapped on top of him like this. Okay. And he couldn't fight back. It was actually surprisingly easy. I was barely breaking a sweat. I thought, oh, this guy, he's gonna be tough. But no, it was actually surprisingly easy. And during the time I was growling and making animalistic noises. Why were you doing that? I suppose it was a frenzy. I was so excited, so rushed up on adrenaline and everything. Was just...
Warren was stabbed more than 30 times. Some of them were inflicted when Warren was still asleep, which made him unable to fight young Brian. After a tense minute under the bridge, Warren Barnes succumbed to
stripped his clothes.
He died.
I gave him a Glasgow smile. What's that? A Joker smile. And then I left his body there.
It's right here.
Oh, you see it?
Yeah. Because there's an arm. There's an arm, there's another arm.
Okay, hold on. Let's do some pictures.
Right here's a leg.
Brian took a few photos of the body to keep, but immediately deleted them,
And then I took
thinking that if he was caught,
the head,
those photos
put
would
it
be
in a
strong
leftover
physical
box
evidence to
when we
convict
took
him.
dinner a few nights ago. And then I took the hands, put them in the back, drove home, hid the hands and head in my room. And then I tried going to sleep, but I was worried that because there was a hole in my gloves right here, I was worried that they would be able to obtain a partial print. So I figured, why not go all the way? I drove back in a different outfit, picked up his body, put it in my trunk, and drove to the Blue Heron drop-off station. The ramp is quite steep, and you need to have four-wheel drive to pull out of it. Okay. And my car didn't. And I opened the trunk, I take his body out, I put it in the water, and because I don't want fingerprints on a body, so I just try moving it with my shoes. That works successfully. He goes out some part in the river and floats off. Okay. God knows where he is now.
After throwing the body into the river, Brian gets into his car to get away from the area quickly, but where he parked his car, it was not possible to leave without a four-wheel drive car, and Brian got
That
stuck.
doesn't work. My car didn't have four-wheel drive. Look at me. And so then I tried putting it in low gear. I'm trying everything at this. Right. And it still doesn't come out. And then it slides into the river. Oh! My car slides into the river. Me inside. It is the middle of February. It's cold. At night. Yeah. In the river that's almost freezing. I almost died. So I'm able to climb out. I don't see the body, so I assume just travel with it. Okay. And I come up. And I'm sitting there, I need to act fast or else I'll die of hypothermia. I'm panicking a bit this point. I'm going to be like, this is one guy remembered for dying of hypothermia and a botched attempt at hiding a body. And I'm just like, I feel like I need to get out. I often do. I feel like I need to get out. And my thought, have you ever felt that? Absolutely. So I'd say that I drive down to the Blue Heron Point and just park and just turn off the car and think, okay. And I tell them that I'm stupid and I park too low and that my car slides in the river. Okay. Did they believe it? Yes. Okay. And then the police came. I didn't do a breathalyzer test because I wasn't drinking.
Was it the police or the sheriff?
I think it was the police.
Okay, all right.
That's what we call a tow fan. I don't know, because he'd have to get in the friggin' water.
I called Glenn's Towing, and they want me to text them a photo of the car because they think they might be able to pull it out.
Okay.
Yeah, we made him wait till he was almost 18 before he got his driver's license because we didn't want him having any accidents like they do when they're 16 and 17.
Gotcha.
Things. But stupid, you just cover the issues, I guess.
Yeah.
If you weren't
At this
drinking,
moment, his mother is completely unaware of the serious crime.
I have never touched any substances.
After Brian
And
asked
so when they
came
pulled it
out
out,
of the river, both the
they
police and his
immediately
mother
see blood
noticed
on the
blood
bumper.
on the
And they're
car.
all thinking, we really like to get in this trunk. Fool, there is nothing in the trunk.
Brian thought that he was able to escape the palace, but he was wrong. It soon became clear that Warren was a well-known person in his community and his friends were worried that he did not show up the
So
day
why
after
did
the
you,
accident.
what raised concern with you today to report him missing?
Because the place, people already called to see if I had seen him because he didn't show up for work, and he's never once not shown up for work in the 4 years he's been working for them. So I said no, and that I hadn't seen him since Saturday.
My boss's name is April Walker. She's actually the manager of the store. And she asked me today, did you see Warren today? And I hadn't thought about it. I was like, actually, no. And she was like, well, I just saw this on Facebook. He's been missing since Saturday. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, he just seems like he's family to us, you know, because we talk to him every morning, and a lot of homeless people come in there, and I just feel comfortable having him there.
At the same time, the police had taken out the car and were inspecting it. Very soon they noticed more blood on the door handle, and finally they found Brian's bloody gloves on the driver's side seat, which Brian had forgotten to put
I
away.
said, I don't know where the blood came from. They didn't know what to believe this day because it's blood, it's sticky, it's sinewy, but I can't name a source. So they were just a tiny bit curious.
When the police were involved in the car and several days passed, Brian's mother called the police to report that she had found the remains of a human body in her son's closet.
3 days the
Even
body
though Brian knew enough
no,
about
3 hours,
he had
rigor
failed to
mortis,
dispose
the
of the
body
remains.
stiffens. 3 days, the body starts to stink because of decomposition. 3 weeks, the body is starting to seriously decompose. Right. 3 months, the body is unrecognizable. 3 years, it turns into a skeleton.
You talked about you were just kind of in a bad state that night.
It was, yes.
Okay. Why were you in a bad state?
During the interrogation, Brian talked about his mental health struggles and thoughts of He mentioned being diagnosed with schizophrenia and experiencing hallucinations where he believed people were staring at him through the window and eyes were watching him from the walls.
I was watching a video when all of a sudden I start going into mental thoughts. I get the feeling, I know that it isn't, but I get the feeling that there are eyes on the walls watching the eyes on the furniture. And I cover myself up. I'm like, oh God, eyes. And I'm worried if I stick anything out from the bed, the blades will come up and chop it off. My whole body was shaking. Not like out of fear. It was like...
The combination of Brian's mental problems and his interest in killing led him to the abyss and threw him down from there. Schizophrenia has come to the hands of criminals time and time again, and by claiming that they had a disturbed mental state at the time of the crime, they got a lot of discounts in the trial. Of course, research shows that schizophrenia alone has nothing to do with committing a crime. Come to Brian.
I had delusions, I guess. Like, years ago, I thought I was obsessed with people staring at me. I felt people watching me from every window. The birds were looking at me, watching me. For creative purpose. That was a delusion, I suppose. Right. For a while, I was willing to do anything, good or bad. That was years ago in school. I was willing to do anything, whether it be good or bad, just to gain notoriety, fame, influence.
I'm very curious. How do you feel about all this now?
The next 15 years of my life, book set in stone, prison. If I go back tonight, I wouldn't have done it. Knowing that, knowing what it felt like, knowing how this will all turn out, I wouldn't have done it.
Even though Brian said that if he could go back in time, he wouldn't have killed Warren, but the lack of feelings and remorse is surging in this person, and he uses the word probably in his words, which is a proof of this, and he is not convinced. It seems that Brian is more upset that he didn't satisfy his motive in taking the life of an innocent person.
And he said you didn't feel much of anything.
Excitement.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
But other than that, no.
In Brian's words, it was clear that a human being was not important to him. Emotions and remorse had no place in Brian, and this turned him into a psychopath. Brian was accused of first-degree theft and had to defend himself in court. This court was held on January 17, 2022, and Brian's main defense was the issue of mental problems, and based on that, he claimed innocence. After psychological evaluations, the doctors determined that Brian has sufficient mental balance and can be treated like a normal person in court. Even in the courtroom, there was no sign of remorse, and sometimes she smiled. Even watching his mother's torture did not arouse his emotions. For these reasons, after 2 weeks of trial, Brian Kohi was found guilty and sentenced to life imprisonment. Well friends, thank you for watching the video so far. Thank you for subscribing to the channel and telling me your thoughts about this case in the comments section and liking the video. Watch out for another video and another criminal case.